Hey YouTube, having a BC Rich pointy day today. So this is I've actually just borrowed this off my pal. This is a Bronze Series Warlock. I'm going to give it a wee bit of a clean up. That'll just be a scoosh of contact clear and stop that. Or maybe just go in and bend it with pliers. Is that going to be an issue? I don't know. Only when I pick it up. Yeah, so these used to be really cheap. I've had a couple pass through my hands. It's not going well, is it? That's just the experience. Like when if a guitar does fall off, catch it before it hits the ground. It always seems to happen with someone else's guitar as well. Yeah. So the 2 seconds, just in case this totally sorts it. If not, I'll go in and bend it with pliers to make it work. This isn't in for a fix up or anything like that. It's just my pal. It's like, do you want to do a wee video on my Warlock? And it's like, yeah, why not? It's been a while. So these, as I said, these used to be cheap. I had a couple years ago, and I think, to be honest, I paid 30 quid for one of them. It was missing a pickup sort of thing, but now you see them for actually kind of more than what they cost new. I think they're about 129 quid, something like that. I don't know if it's got a year on it. It doesn't even have a serial number on it. Okay, it does. Well, the serial number's just starts with a 24. I don't really know what that means. But widow headstock, which people always say this is either testicles or boobs. I always quite like the widow headstock, and the strap just doesn't want to stay on this guitar. Maybe if you've got one, you maybe put strap locks on it. Decent looking tuners, got a scarf joint in the neck, 24 frets. I think these are, I'm pretty sure he said these are the original, I think they're called BDSM pickups or something like that. And I think when they're not as worn away, they say BC Rich in white writing on the sort of the bottom right hand corner of them. I always thought these pickups were excellent. It's one of these things that people buy guitars and the first thing they do is put Seymour Duncans in it. And it's like, without actually even trying what's in the guitar first. The pickups in this I think are awesome. I've bought these pickups second hand before and put them into other guitars. My Telecaster's got one in it because they're just really, I don't know what's the word. They're maybe not your super heavy metal pickups. I don't really play super heavy metal, like your active EMGs or Invaders or something like that. They're not like that. They're kind of more classic rock, which suits me very well. Kind of not a million miles away from the ones you get stock on an SG, is the way I look at it. So yeah, I've had a couple of these. I've still not found my Warlock. I've even dug out some BC Riches. So I've got my Bitch, my Mockingbird, and my Wave. That's a 84, 83 NJ series Japan. That's a JE series or possibly an American one. It's not sure. It's got like the R logo in the headstock. And that's an 83 or something bolt on neck skinny bitch it's called, which I'll probably do a video for, seeing as I've dug them out. But this is all about the Warlock. On the wee screen there, you'll see that is probably the Warlock I want. I don't think you got Japanese ones before, like in this era, which is obviously early 80s Japan. That's the guitar for me. I don't think there is a Warlock like that. But that one there is one that I kind of regret not buying. I remember seeing them new in maybe, I don't know, what would that be, 15 years ago. And there was one which was basically that, but it had the widow headstock and 2 pickups. And that was the one I kind of wanted. They weren't expensive, they were maybe 350, 400 quid. But it just looked stunning with the spalted maple top. And I remember in Bishop Briggs buying a guitar off a guy who had that one. And I had a shot of it and it felt amazing. It's neck through. I didn't like the idea of only having one pickup, and the headstock didn't do anything for me. Now, wish I bought it. He was selling it for years, and he kept it wasn't that much. I think it was $250 or something like that, or $290. And I just wish I'd bought it because it's fantastic. It's got the upside down headstock, kind of like what's on the bitch, kind of that, which is one of my favourite headstocks. Actually, I'm not sure. It's kind of like a big, massive Fender type headstock. I'm not sure, but it looks particularly right in this guitar. The thing is, you kind of get used to looking at whatever it is. So whenever I see a bitch that's got the you know, the normal headstock on it. Yeah, the normal headstock being that one. You know, the sort of, it kind of looks wrong to me, but only because I'm used to it. It's the same with the Mockingbird. You get the Mockingbird with a pointy headstock, or you get it with that headstock, and to me it looks wrong because I'm used to looking at that one. You never see any waves, so it doesn't really count in. You can't even see it now because I'm standing in front of it, the wave, which it's actually out for. I'm going to try my restorative polish on it because this thing I should use it an awful lot more, but I fell out with one of my pals because even though he kept telling me, oh, you should paint it to get rid of these, there was screw holes in it. That's how I got it cheap. It's like, oh, you got to paint it, and it was this pure amazing pearly yellow colour, and after asking me to paint it, it's like, I'm not painting it, I love the colour, I can't paint it, I want the colour, and he's like, can I borrow it because I'm going to draw around it and make one? It's like, no bother. So I gave him a shot of it, went round the next week, and the bastard had painted it magnolia, and it looked awful. He didn't even bother taking any of the parts off, so it was like, he'd sort of taped it, so it was like, oh god, so I got home, fell out with him and scraped it all. You don't paint another man's guitar, not when it's the one that he always raves about what an amazing colour it is. So then there's a wee tip for you. I actually put it on, I was really upset, real proper upset, just totally in shock when I saw it. And it was like up here, as soon as I saw it, it was like, I can't believe you did that. Yeah. So there's a genuine bad vibe about that guitar because of that, because I lost one of my pals over it because I was just absolutely couldn't believe that someone would do that. Different if it was like one who's like, it was just a rubbishy guitar, it doesn't really matter, you know what I mean, blah blah blah, but not one that I kept raving about how much I loved the colour. Anyway, moving on. Warlock. Pretty much, I always liked these Warlocks. I did actually have one that I almost kept, which was almost my Warlock, which is it was called a Maggot Man, which had basically I think it was a body art series, and it had like a graphic on the front, quite a cool looking sort of. It kind of looked like alien worms or something like that on it. It was a cool colour as well. I really liked that guitar. But it's one of those ones that I decided, I've got my Warlock, I'm going to keep it, and then, you know, a couple of months later it was like, you know, I've never really played it, it's not really my thing. But I do like the bronze one, partly because I quite like cheap guitars. I'm not that keen, and we're going back, I mean, BC Rich have been bought over by somebody now, and now everyone on the BC Rich Facebook page always complained that they were making too many cheap guitars, which they kind of did. So that originally BC Rich would be, this has just turned into a BC Rich video, not actually I'll put a skip point in when I actually start playing this thing. It started off obviously as American handmade things, and they were the first guitars to have, like, not the first guitar, but the big thing was they were neck through, and they had all the switches on them, which actually none of mine do. That was the Mockingbird was one of the first ones, and it was called a Mockingbird because it could mock the sounds of, it could sound like all the other guitars, so you could make it sound like a Strat, a Tele, or a Les Paul, or whatever, because it had so many switches. A coil split for each pickup, a phase switch, an active boost, and possibly even a varitone, which is fine. And I had a shot at one of them, like the one that kind of looks like Slash's one. It was brand new in Guitar, and I think it was reduced from 1,000 and something down to 900 quid, or down to 700 quid or something. And I was like, right, okay, I'll just have a wee shot of it just out of interest, and it was horrible. It was nothing like as good as the one that I've stupidly painted like a zebra. Nothing like as good as that. Basically, it was kind of just, it wasn't any better than this, so that's why I like the bronze ones. You only get them in rubbishy colours like black, but if you go up to the Platinum series, it's kind of exactly the same, but with a nicer paint finish and twice the price. And then the higher up ones at that time were not really that impressive. I do actually remember Guitar were selling off a pile. They were really cheap. There was a yellow Warlock. It had a speed loader system, which is gone now. Everyone's converted them, but basically it had this headstock, but it had no tuners on it because it had like a Steinberger type bridge on it, and it was just, it had a Floyd Rose. Maybe it just wasn't set up well, but this thing played like an absolute dog. I was up here thinking, it's pretty cool, and it's yellow, and I think it was down from like £1,000 to 200 quid or something like that, and they had like like a whole display of them. I was like, oh, that's going to be really good. And I played it, and it was just like, no. Immediately, it was just awful. That kind of put me off the more expensive BC Riches. But I do like the cheap ones. Where was I going? I was going earlier on. Yes. So everyone was. Easy Rich started off as American handmade stuff. Then out came the Japanese ones, which were surprisingly very similar to the original ones quality-wise for a few years, and then they moved on to make them in Korea. And I think they kept the NJ series thing, apart from no longer meant Nagoya, Japan. Instead, it had a, this doesn't have it, on the neck plate, they opened up a P.O. box or an office in New Jersey. So it was like BC Rich, New Jersey. It didn't say made in Korea on it. It didn't say it was made in America. It just happened to say New Jersey on the their P.O. box where their office was. And I got another Warlock. It was a trans blue one, so you could see the grain through it. And it was pants. I think someone called it a Diamond series, although I don't think it was officially called a Diamond series. Maybe, but it was like an 87 or 88 or something like that, and it was not a good guitar. It wasn't better than this. It was worth an awful lot more, and people rave about them. And then after that, they gradually just kept getting cheaper and cheaper all through the 2000s until they were producing so many guitars at like between 100 and 150 quid that you could see them whenever you looked up eBay and stuff like that. They were always going for, there was 10 BC Riches going for like £100 in any shape you wanted and stuff like that, which kind of cheapened the image of the brand. And then they get bought over by somebody else, and then all these people in the BC Rich fan page going, oh, it's like, can't wait till we get back to having like proper neck through ones, premium guitars. So that's what they're doing now. But the problem is they're making them in Indonesia and China, which is fine. And they're £1,000 because that's how much it costs to build them. Oh, I'm not paying £1,000. So the same people are going like that, oh, these cheapy ones, I want an expensive neck through one. So they did that. And then all these people are now going, I'm not paying £1,000 for a Korean guitar. You're like, yeah, but you can't make them. If you made them in Japan, they'd be £2,000, or in America they'd be £5,000. It's like, so you can't really please anyone. They're kind of onto a loser a little bit. Yeah, enough ranting about these things. I've got my twin note fuzz pedal on because it's a BC Rich. I'm sure it does do clean. Again, I don't really play the sort of super heavy stuff. That's as heavy as I go. Oh, I should be playing, I know. What's that Wasp song I really like? I'm a wild child. Can I solo over that? I did with the tone all the way up there. That fly is doing my head and it's totally going to die as soon as this video's finished. Looking at it, the bridge pickup's actually too far away from the strings. That's quite a big distance. That should be raised up. I'm adjusting Cameron's guitar. I'm sorry, but you can always put it back. I just think it sounds better when it's up a bit louder. There should be a little bit more rocking in it. Neck pickup. Let's see what it sounds like clean. Not most people wouldn't want to play a guitar like this clean, but I kind of think a wee bit of a perverse pleasure in it. No pickups. First pedal then. He's probably not right for this guitar either. He wants something with a bit more oomph rather than the... Not the right first pedal, is it? The one I was using before that. So I do like a warlock. This is actually really easy to play. I think there's something about, see when I'm playing a guitar that's a sort of the cheapest one, I will really fling myself at it a little bit more because I'm kind of going, I'm going to make it sound good, whereas if it was a really expensive one, I'm kind of a bit more, no, it should sound good without me really having to try. But I mean, this is really pretty much faultless. The strings on it are very old, so it's not holding tune quite as well as it should be. Definitely not right, A and G. Also, which I noticed when I tuned this up before I started, the cardinal sin. Look at the strings are on the wrong way on these tuners, so you're getting a really bad break angle here and here, but also you have to turn the tuners the wrong way, so the string should be on this side of the tuner, going on the inside, not on the outside, seems to be holding quite well. Cameron was thinking of, he was talking about this on Sunday's live stream, wanting to paint it, and it's yes, you could paint it. I would be tempted to kind of paint it like neon green or neon yellow, something like that. Because it's black, the temptation would be to do similar to what I did with the Mockingbird, which doesn't look too bad there, right? Because it's against a completely different coloured wall. But the problem is, if you're wearing a black t-shirt or it's dark, or you're wearing a white t-shirt, you lose the shape of the guitar when you see it, because it kind of camouflages it. Hence why zebras are like that. So you kind of lose the shock factor of the shape a little bit. It's like kind of, you can't really see the pointiness here. So I mean, I don't know. So I think that might be one of the problems you would have if you tried to do something like that. Because I'm sitting there, and I've seen warlocks before. It's like you kind of put tapes and make it go like a chevron pattern. So if you just put masking tape on and a chevron pattern, paint the whole thing neon green. Oh, I think that's maybe a guy here who's half an hour early to pick up a guitar. But I'm kind of done anyway. So yes, I really like this guitar. And only because I've had a few of them, I'm kind of more. They don't seem as rare, whereas kind of now they do. Basically, if I've managed to pick one up for if someone traded for one, I would be tempted to keep it and maybe paint it a silly colour. Oh, it's just a courier. That's cool. I won't bother stopping the video. I'm not quite done. You can just bear with me for 30 seconds while I get this. Oh, there we go. Great, thank you. Yeah, so ready for a what's in the bag. Everyone always likes a what's in the bag, and honestly, you can pause the video just now, right, and then go, I'll guess what's in the bag. It weighs nothing, right? And it's like, and then have a wee guess in below, and I bet you nobody even gets close. This is silly. Actually, I got a message about it this morning from eBay saying, if it has your thing arrived yet? And I was like, no, it hasn't. You get the thing, please. If it doesn't arrive, give us a contact the seller first before you leave negative feedback and open cases and stuff like that against them. So this is, you ready? So I should probably have kept this from a live stream. This is it's not proper merchandise, but there we go. So what we have is, I'm even going to fit in my head. I can't see through it. No, I thought you sort of get it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so this is a Kitsune mask. Actually, you can see why I chose it there. So, although it's not an official baby metal item, these masks are not for them. There's kind of like a Japanese traditional sort of, I don't know, like the fox demon or whatever it is mask. So I'm going to hang this on the wall somewhere and possibly use it. I don't know. It's like the eye. It's kind of, my head's too big to fit in it. It's really for a small-faced person, but yeah. So Kitsune's, I'll put that. That could be like my unofficial baby metal thing. I'll find somewhere to put it. Yeah. A little bit of a sidetrack there. Back to the BC Rich. Yes. So as I was saying there, the problem with doing a fancy paint job like that with like stripes or something, you kind of tend to lose the outline. For many years I had a BC Rich BC Rich box in the bathroom in my last house, kind of in the corner, because it was kind of, the bathroom was kind of part of the attic. I've never really finished it, and it said on it, built to rock, shaped to shock, built to rock. And I thought, what a great tagline, which they should still use. I don't think they do. Yeah, so BC Rich, I like them. They're not for everyone. The thing about these original models, I'm classing this as an original model, you can always tell a BC Rich just looking at it because it looks right. See, when you see like a sort of, like a lesser company trying to do a BC Rich inspired guitar, like Stag do one, and Gear for Music and all that, they never look quite right. Even if it's a guitar you've never seen before. I mean, I'd never seen a Wave ever anywhere until I saw that sitting in someone's house, and immediately I knew it was a real BC Rich. So it's just like, something to do with this. It's obviously it's not symmetrical, but something to do with the way it flows or something just looks right. Whereas a lot of spiky guitars, they look kind of wonky and awkward. Whereas BC Rich tend not to. They tend to look pretty good. The one exception to the rule is like, and see all the pointy bits. Normally they point away from you, which is fine. You know, it's like points and points and points and points. None of them actually stick into it. I had one called I think it was called an Avenged Son of a Beast or something like that, and it had a spike that actually stuck into your gut. It's like, so all the, you know, it's like you want to attack other people. You don't want to injure you're playing it. You don't want to injure yourself. I do have a little bit of an issue with that happening with the Mockingbird. Maybe it's just because I'm fat or I'm not holding it low enough or something like that, but the Mockingbird tends to have a... It's got... See this bit here? It's kind of... Yeah, it's not too bad. Maybe I've got the... when you're playing sitting down, it tends to be that point there tends to stick into you. Sometimes, you know, just a little bit. Not bad, but it's just enough to be slightly annoying. So if anyone's got one of those, I might be interested in it. I've now probably gone more for the upside down headstock single pickup one rather than the two pickup and Widow headstock. I do think the Widow headstock does look cool. You can never get one that doesn't have chips out it though. This one's got slight chips at the top. And also when somebody pointed out that it kind of looks like donkey's balls or something like that. I'll end on a joke from a Cheech and Chong film. It's like there's a cowboys going into like a Mexican village. There's an old guy sitting with his donkey, you know, sitting napping with his sombrero on and stuff like that. Is that pure? Aye, you got the time? He's a Scottish cowboy. You got the time there? The guy's like that, grabs the donkey by the balls and goes like that, pure. 2 o'clock. And the cowboy's like that, pure. Wow, okay, cheers. Wow, you can get the time just by feeling the donkey's balls. That's pretty impressive. How'd you do that? It's like, well, you grab hold of the balls like this, and you lift them up, and you see that clock over there. Rock on.